These items are similar, however, they are not the same. YouTube, vaping newbies. Are you new to vaping? Well, we're going to run a few series, kind of get you up to speed on different things that you can expect to see as you go into different shops. What we have here are a bunch of different tanks that we actually carry in store at Bank Brew Vapors. And we'll break a few of them down so that you have an idea of how they work, what the products consist of, and things like that. These things are similar, however, they are not the same. So after unpackaging, what we have here are 2 clearomizers and 2 glassomizers. The difference being, in most cases, juices that are high in citrus or high in cinnamon will actually cause a plastic tank, the clearomizer, to rupture. Whereas you have greater flexibility when using a glassamizer. Anything that's in Pyrex is pretty much gonna work just fine. The first, in yellow, would be the Kanger T3S. The second would be the iClear 16D. D. Next would be the David glassamizer, the mini version, and then you see the standard version. There are tons of different products on the market. Again, these are a few items that we carry in store, giving you flexibility and price point and things of that nature. Most folks start out with something that's in the range of the T3S or the iClear 16D. So here we have the T3S broken down a little further. There are 3 parts to the T3S. You have your reservoir, which is the tank itself, the coil, which is the heating element, and the base. The base actually holds the coil and secures the juice inside of the reservoir. The 2 pieces you see here don't require replacing. However, your coil, your heating element, this will burn out with use. On average, folks are replacing their coils roughly about 2 to 3 weeks. Some choose to rebuild coils and save a little money. We will get into a video on how to do that later on down the line, but this is strictly for beginners, just an intro to products and functionality of those products. So here we have the second clearomizer. It's called the iClear 16D. The D is for dual coil. It's still a bottom coil system, and as you can tell, I've detached the coil from the base. Differences between the first coil you saw and the coil that's on display right now is that the T3S has a single coil system versus this, which has a dual coil system. The iClear 16D will in many cases produce more vapor because of the 2 coils. Next is the Mini David by AnyVape, also a dual coil system. This system can actually be converted. It actually has an expansion ring that will allow you to convert it to a single coil system and use the coils that are similar to what goes into the T3S. Again, this is the Mini David by AnyVape. And now we're going into larger tanks. What you see next to the Mini David is now the standard size David, also dual coil system. Very important, I'm going to bring something to your attention. Any of the larger tank systems that are going to be placed onto a smaller battery unit will most likely come with a plinth or beauty ring. Plinth is a weird word, so most folks just say beauty ring. With that being said, this serves to create a clean profile from the tank and battery. There's a space normally where the ego threading is, and we'll get into threading when we talk about the different battery units. It also helps to support the weight of the tank for drops and things like that, so that you don't snap the threading off your base. If you snap your threading off, you won't have anything to actually secure the tank to the top of your device. So we have now moved into what are referred to as top wicking or top coil systems. Two examples here are the iClear 30 and the iClear 30S. Notice one, you can actually see the wicking hanging down inside of the cylinder, and the other one has a metal housing. It's actually covering similar style wicks. Some people prefer bottom coil systems. Other people prefer top coil systems. It's completely up to you. Get one of each. Try them out. Decide what you like best. So here we see the tanks broken down. If you notice, the iClear 30S, which would be this tank here, actually has a coil that looks almost like a mop. It's often referred to as the octopus. Sometimes there's a lot of jargon in this industry and folks don't remember all of the names, and they'll go, I need one of those octopus coils. That being said, next to it, you see the stem or the cylinder that's housing the similar style coils for the iClear 30S. It's important, again, that you know which items go into which tank and what tank you actually have. It's best to sometimes just show the person your tank and they can tell you what coil goes into it. These are some of the more top of the line tanks. It's past that entry level. Some folks start with these tanks to begin with because the person that referred them to vaping to begin with had one of these tanks. What you see here are the Arrow tanks, both the standard and the giant. One being standard 3 mil capacity, giant being a 5 mil capacity. Same thing applies to the Nautilus systems over here by Aspire. The Nautilus Mini is a 3 mil system. The Aspire Nautilus is a 5 mil system. What you have here are tanks that all provide similar functionality. They're all dual coil systems. They all provide you with the ability to control airflow. Airflow is important. The more air that you're allowed to get to your coil, as the liquid is vaporizing, the more vapor will be produced. Some people want a warmer vape, some people want a cooler vape, some people want a lot of vapor, some people are just satisfied with the most basic systems. These systems give you greater flexibility, and they do come at a higher price point. However, you're getting what you pay for. And we'll break down these larger systems at another time. Again, this is just the intro to tanks. We're going to do a complete overview on how all of them function, how to change your coil, what to do when something goes wrong. And that's my baby there, one of the many. We'll talk about those as well, mech mods, drippers, and those sorts of things. All of these videos will be coming to you in the very near future. Shout out to DK Vapes. You'll see him in the upcoming videos as well.